All right, we'll get you that report in just a bit. Meanwhile, newly elected Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison is addressing the media. Let's listen in to what he said.
We've all got to live by the rules of this country, the law of our land. These are values we uphold, and it's important that we do that right across our areas of policy. And that we believe that we should decide our own future as individuals, as families, as communities, and of course as a nation. We all want to be able to make our own choices in life. Whether it's about who comes to our country, as John Howard famously said, or what school you want your kids to go to, or what team they want to follow. I suggest the Sharks, but that is not going to be a matter of national policy, I assure you.
Or Victorians.
Particularly for Victorians. We believe in choice. And because of that means we can believe in our future. We're an optimistic, we're a passionate, and we are an ambitious people, full of aspiration for ourselves, for our families, and of course for our great nation, for all of us. That's what we believe as Liberals. Our plan, my plan for this country, is for an even stronger Australia. To keep our economy strong, to guarantee the essentials that Australians rely on. To keep Australians safe from terrorism and all the way to bullying in our schools. To keep our country together. To not pit one group of Australians against another. To ensure that one can succeed and all can succeed. That one doesn't have to fail for another one to succeed. We have a lot of challenges as a country, and we will get through them as we always have, together. Now, our job, particularly for Josh and I, as we take forward this new mantle of leadership as a new generation, is to ensure that we not only bring our party back together, which has been bruised and battered this week, but that will enable us to ensure we bring the Parliament back together, that we can continue to work to ensure that our country stays close together. We're a resilient bunch, Australians. I mean, the fact that we have had the longest running economic success of any nation in the world today is a tribute to the resilience of the Australian people. And they need that continued leadership to take them forward, not just on the economy, but of every aspect of Australian life that we feel so proud to be a part of and that Josh and I feel so proud to lead. So, in making those statements about the direction, let me also tell you my immediate priorities. In addition to, of course, our economic and national security, is the drought. I've already discussed this, as Josh has said, with the leader of the National Party. This is our most urgent and pressing need right now. And I'll be meeting with Major General Day as soon as possible to review our drought response plans and to hear from him, and working with the Nationals and our regional and rural Liberal members to ensure that we do what's necessary to help our regional communities, our farmers and all those affected. We will do what is necessary and coordinate with the states and territories. That will be my first focus, but there are many others, and I can take questions on that. Before I throw to Josh, let me say a few words about today also. I want to start by thanking, and he still is, the Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull. I've known Malcolm for a long time, as you know. He has been a dear friend. He has served his country in a noble and professional way. Josh and I have watched and worked with him as he has led our cabinet and the achievements we've been proud to serve with him as a government. Whether it's in the economy, whether it's in all the other areas that Malcolm has outlined today at his earlier press conference, he's a great Australian who's contributed a great deal to this country, and our party and our nation will be very grateful for his contribution. Also, I want to thank Julie Bishop, and I'm sure Josh will remark as well. She's been a rock star for the Liberal Party as a foreign minister and for Twitter and Facebook. She has been an amazing contributor and driver of foreign policy and an advocate for liberal values from one end of this country to the other and one end of this world to the other. And we thank her for her service, and I'll be talking to her obviously about what role she would like to play in the government that we will now seek to put together. I also want to thank Peter Dutton for the service that he has provided. I actually recommended him for the job as Minister for Immigration and Border Protection after I left it some years ago, and he has served faithfully in that role and Home Affairs, and I look forward, if he so chooses, for him to be playing a role in the government which I intend to lead. Finally, though, I want to thank Josh. I've worked with Josh for many years. We didn't run as a ticket today. That's not how it should be, in our view. We knew that each of us needed to seek a mandate in our own right to heal our party, to bring our nation together and go forward. And so he sought his, and I sought mine. Just turns out he voted for me and I voted for him. But that was an expression, I think, of a natural relationship between the two of us. We've got a lot of work to do. Wasn't planning to take too many questions today. We will deal with other policy matters and other issues, and of course I've got further work to do with the National Party today before heading out to Yarralumla later this evening, and we'll be dealing with that then. I look forward to working with Michael McCormack and his entire team. Michael and I have known each other for a long time, and I look forward to a very productive...
All right, so that is Scott Morrison, the newly elected Prime Minister of Australia. Now, this is just an internal sort of a decision where the former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has now been eased out of the Prime Ministership of Australia, predominantly because of the low ratings and the successive defeats that he has suffered in the by-polls. And with a general election looming in Australia, it was believed that it was time for him to go, and there was to be a revamp in the leadership, and that is exactly what has happened, where after almost a crisis which lasted for about a week, Scott Morrison has now emerged victorious, and Malcolm Turnbull will now step aside.